Hewlett, David Hewlett here with another horribly sweaty, miserable, exercise-ridden torture of Burn&Learn for you. Yeah, Sunday. Gotta love that Sunday exercise. I look like freaking Santa Claus. Oh my God. I remember years ago, Jane saying, like, you could be sexy Santa. Now I could just be Santa. That's basically where I'm going. Let me see if I can get in here and see what's going on the chat on my computer, because then I can read it better. Because frankly, between my foggy glasses and my foggy brain, I will, whoa, gotta make that quiet. Okay, let's see what the chat's doing here. There we go. Hey, Wholesome Vampire, Jenny, Sky, Max. There you go. We're all coming in loud and clear now. So yeah, Burn&Learn, another 6.6 clicks, did about 33 minutes today, so it took a little bit longer with it, but you know what? It was Sunday. I was listening to this marvelous podcast called Malicious Life. I seem to be kind of a little obsessed with the whole cybersecurity thing right now. To be fair, I always have been, but just particularly fascinating story about this guy who was basically a troll, like a full-on, like horrible internet troll guy who's very, very smart, but really enjoyed just pressing people's buttons. And weirdly always found them sort of, I mean, as odious as the things they do, I sort of respect their pushing of the rights to say whatever the hell they want. So I guess it's a bit of the hacker mentality type thing to some extent. I mean, there was some bullying and stuff, which I definitely, would not, it's just not a good thing. And it's certainly nothing to be proud of. But I do think that it's important that there are some people who don't get along with people and people who thrive on not getting along with people. And I feel like, what is it? It's that wonderful quote of like, I'm disgusted and entirely opposed to everything you have to say, but I'll fight to the death to let you say it. I mean, I think that's such an important part of what we hope for in I would say North America, because I'm up in Canada right now, but as an American as well, I mean, and England for that matter. I don't think Canada actually has a the speech rights the same way that America does. Anyways, fascinating story about this guy who basically got himself into lots of trouble by doing some hacking, by promoting his approach to this stuff. Basically, it's like almost everything on Twitter right now. It's just designed to get people's attention and get them riled up and excited. Anyway, so he sort of got onto this earlier on. And the reason why he sort of ended up being in a legal situation was because he was involved in a group that had hacked these new iPads with AT&T to get the free, the limitless deal on the internet that came with these initial iPads. The guy's name, I believe, is Weave, and there's a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to quote their names because apparently, if you look them up, there's some pretty horrendous stuff that shows up. But this guy Weave, I don't really want to see it myself. So, but again, I value the fact that this guy, is pushing the bounds of what's right, what's wrong. I mean, it's almost like legal chaos, legal evil, I suppose, to some extent. What kind of freedoms do we need to give people? And again, the Electronic Freedom Foundation, I think, steps in at this point. It's a two episode thing on Malicious Life, which is really fun cybersecurity, hacking, computer related crime stuff. And I eat that stuff up. That and Darknet Diaries, Hacked. There's a bunch of these different podcasts, which I absolutely love. And of course, all of the Twit, This Week in Tech stuff as well. But it just really sort of struck me. I went like, I remember as a young computer nerd back in the day of bulletin boards, right? So this was before the internet stuff. And even bulletin boards were sort of a mind-blowing thing at the time too. And the only real, I guess, thing that precluded that, I guess there might have been CompuServe and AOL potentially around then. I can't remember, but the holy grail for me was that first internet access. But even back in the days of the bulletin board, you'd try stuff. You'd go like, oh, what if I change this? Or what if I change those numbers? Or what if I do this? What if I do that? I mean, I remember being on a Rogers network here, which is a cable network, one of the first cable internet that was available, and I went in and had a look. I can't remember what it was, what I used. It was probably even just Windows. I just went and looked at, basically got a list of connected servers and saw every single node on my street. They hadn't locked anything down. It was one internet. It was one cable connection for a street of houses, and you could literally go into each. If people didn't have passwords on their stuff, you could literally just open up their home folders. I mean, again, these weren't sort of directly onto their C drives or anything, but it was their, it was their Rogers folder or whatever. I mean, the point being is this was before all of this stuff. His point was, look, if I'm able to do that, why do I go to jail for that? Why don't the people whose software and services are allowing this to happen, why aren't they being held responsible for this rather than me? And it's just an interesting point, because I think you don't want to stifle curiosity. You don't want to stop people from being able to dig around and see how things work. I mean, that hacker mentality is fantastic. I know that it has a negative connotation for some people. For me, it's always had a very positive connotation, because it's people just trying to make things do things that they may not necessarily be designed for. And as long as you're not, hurting anybody or destroying things, which again happens. I'm not by any means saying that you should go in and destroy computer systems, because you can. But there's always been a bit of a, I'm one of those people who really quite, when I'm walking in a mall and I see a door without that looks cool, I'll poke my head in to see what's going on. I mean, I like exploring. When I go to sets, especially when we're on sets, weird locations and stuff. I love roaming around and seeing what's available. I remember going down on a film we did up in London. We were in this crazy sort of like pseudo, like weird sort of hippie palace that this weirdo had bought and had built. I shouldn't say that because I have no idea who built it, but it was this very strange setup with like secret passageways and all sorts of stuff. And in the basement, I thought they'd set it up to look like a satanic ritual thing. And I sort of came back up and was like, hey man, what do you use? When does that come into play? And they're like, no, that was there. And I'm like, okay. I've watched way too many horror movies for that. Speaking of horror movies, I watched The Astronaut last night. I think that's a skip. I think that's a definite skip. It's too bad, because it looked good. It had a wonderful sort of, it looked good. I thought it was well made. It just the story just went off the freaking rails. It's too bad, because it was really creepy to start. That's the problem with horror movies, right? It's so easy to get a good start to a horror movie. I shouldn't say easy. It's so satisfying to have a great start to a horror movie. You set it all up, and then you have to explain it. And when you start explaining it and having to see the repercussions, it becomes very frustrating. It's one of the things I found with Stranger Things. There's elements in there that I really like with these new Stranger Things episodes, but there's just not that consistency. And then you have people standing around telling you you're supposed to know, and I just find it very frustrating. That said, I'm the character that does that all the time. Like Stargate, I was the guy who literally had to explain what was happening all the freaking time. And my theory was always like, say it as fast as possible, because if anyone really cares, they'll go back and listen to it again. And if they don't care, you get it over as fast as possible and get on with the damn story. I always sort of go into these things thinking like, okay, I'm the boring stuff between the action or between the effects or between, the movie stars or whatever, So I sort of treat it that way, make it as natural as possible, so it doesn't sort of, it's not gonna bore the crap out of anybody in the process. So, oh wow, they've got a Hollywood themed Fortnite. I gotta say, I don't like the crossovers. Sorry, I know I should. I had a lot of fun playing with Cal and Jack Jasra and Baz when we played Fortnite, and during this, there was a couple of Star Wars ones, and there was a fantastic one of my I will, to my grave, I will take the Travis Scott Fortnite concert. I think it was Travis Scott. Wow, that blew me away. I was like, okay, this is an absolute paradigm shift. I would choose to see this, as a concert. I mean, of course, the funny thing is that the light walls and laser shows and stuff that they have at these, things like the Sphere and stuff now basically create that only in the real world. But there's just, oh God, I remember Baz and I just sitting there. It was like a window into another world watching this, not just watching, because you're also, you're a part of it. You're floating around, you're choosing how to look at it and stuff. And it wasn't VR. I didn't feel sick. I didn't, it was just, oh God, I think it was amazing. So yeah, I should probably play with the new Fortnite stuff, but I don't last long enough anymore. God, I can't wait to see you in Stargate again. That would be pretty freaking great, Raid and Nomad. I would very much like to be a part of that new Stargate, I must say. Happily, I'm here waiting for the call. In fact, wait a second. Oh, no, it's okay. The calls can come in while I'm doing this. It's fine. Travis Scott was one greatest spectacle, wasn't it? It really was, Ivan. It was just amazing. I'd love to play some games with you. That would be cool. Mitchell Atkinson. Yeah, I mean, we used to play. It got weird, I found, with people because I just couldn't. It was just the organizing, having people come in and then leave again. Yeah, it's a weird dynamic, and I was playing with the kid too. So I mean, I'm sure other people, have mastered it. I just, I do love the games, but I would much rather be learning something at this point. I mean, not just how to survive in the game. I love reading about the games. I love watching some people play the games. The League of Legends stuff. I'm loving the new League of Legends Riftbound trading cards. Fantastic. Which reminds me. Actually, I shouldn't even tell you this because everyone's going to go in and outbid me. But I went to the Goodwill site and they have like lots of Pokemon and One Piece cards and stuff like that. So I'm kind of a little nervous. I've got like 4 bids in, and I'm like, if I get them all, my wife's going to leave me because I've it's not a lot of money. It's certainly cheaper than buying cards in and around. But there was a couple of sort of bags of cards. I just thought it'd be so much fun to go through that. Maybe I'll do that live or something. We can actually have an unboxing of whatever I get from the Goodwill thing. Of course, there's probably money buckets out there who will overspend and price me out. But it's just kind of fun. It's too bad because I love the trading card world. I just love the cards. I love the community. I love the sense of it. And it's just, it's that crypto bros kind of moved in to make the big coin. And yeah. And then the companies are sort of going like, well, wait a second. And we're selling them just at regular prices. We should be making money. So we'll make these fancy cards and sell them for $50 a pop and stuff. And it just sort of seems to be preying on this kind of, it's basically gambling, isn't it? Right? I mean, these sort of mystery pack things where you're looking to try to get the 0.1% of the really high value cards in the hopes that someone's going to pull them and you could be you, and then you're in the money. But the reality is, at the end of the day, you spend so much money on cards that it's probably not worth it. I think the best way to approach the cards thing now is honestly, I now buy singles. We get the odd pack. If Baz is around, we'll get packs together just because it's kind of fun to just open them up. But to me, that's like going to Vegas. You don't go to make money. You go to spend money. It's just, you assume it's like a little bit of a holiday, and it's just kind of fun to do it with Baz. Baz gets mad at me because apparently sometimes he shows up in the chat and I don't see him. That's because I suck at the chat, kid. What can I say? Is he here now? I don't even know. Probably not, because he's got soccer today, I think. Discord, indeed. Jim the Evo, Dog's Breakfast, also available on YouTube for free. Is it? Oh, it's not supposed to be, but yeah, okay. I guess great. Then you get to see it. But God, if you watch it on YouTube and you enjoy it, then maybe come and buy a shirt or something, because it would be that's money out of my pocket. Wait a sec. Dog's Breakfast is available on Amazon Prime in the US for free. How does that work? I guess they paid us out or something, or is it part of the MGM catalog? I don't know how that works. I'll have to ask my producer wife, Jane, about that. That's kind of interesting. The Snoop Dogg one was amazing. Oh, was it? I didn't see the Snoop Dogg one. I loved Rodney. He's such a character. His character development SJ was brilliant. Yeah, it was kind of fun, wasn't it? Because you were sort of exploring why he is the way he is rather than presenting a new character. So it was kind of fun. And then I don't know why 20 years later you decided to come back and watch the sweaty old version of me complaining about exercise. Oh God, I hate exercise. So I do this, by the way, for those of you who don't know, I do this because this is my reward for doing the torture that I go through on my stupid ERG, as I call it, the ERG, the Concept 2 rowing machine that I quite like. This is not an ad, by the way. I paid top dollar for that damn thing, and my son mocked me for it. So now I've got to use it, and now I mock him because it's in his room. He went to university. I put a big sign that said gym over his door and stuck the Concept in there. I think I should move other ones in. I should just move other like weights and things in there. I just start putting down towels and yoga mats and stuff. So that would be Yeah. Unscheduled get activation. I'm late again. Well, Tasty Cram, better late than never. That's all I'm going to say, right? On YouTube movies for free too. Oh, good. So I guess they've done a deal of some sort where it's so cheap. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, that's fantastic. Now I guess we should do another one. How long you been doing the erg now? Consistently. What is my run now? I don't even know what my latest run is. Let's have a look. Can I do that on this? Can I look it up on my without hanging up on everybody? So I got my computer running here as well. I've got my home. If I go to my YouTube studio and I put it in, oh God, I'm doing so much research on chocolate printing. I'm doing a Tech Bandits thing. Well, it's not really an official Tech Bandits thing, but the community center around here, actually, it's not around here this time. It's, I guess they're moving it downtown. I guess they're consolidating so that it's not as expensive. But I mean, I don't charge them. But I'm going to bring my fantastic pancake bot, which is, while wildly impractical, is a wonderful sort of, you see the light bulbs going off for kids as this thing goes and prints out pancakes on a thing. And then I bring an extra bunch of different pancake, electric pancake griddles so that they can make their own. I have them drizzle their own designs and stuff like that. So it's just like, I'm a little pancake station. I'm a little pancake station for the kids. And we're doing that downtown this year. It could be interesting. They're probably a little rougher perhaps than what I'm used to. But that's sort of my, I like to do, kid related stuff when I can, because I really don't do a lot of Tech Bandit stuff anymore. It's all this sort of lifelong learning stuff, and then a bit of help with the University of Toronto for their escape puzzle learning stuff as well. So I'm their community partner, don't you know? Although, God, as a community partner, I haven't talked to them for like months. I should definitely check in with them. So that's my sort of my Tech Bandit stuff for this season, anyways. And I'm going to try to get the spiders back in. We have this like laser vibrometers. You could listen to spiders, and the kids seem to quite like that. So I'm going to try to do that as well. I'm in Toronto. Yeah, that's right. Greetings from Germany. Big fan. Would love to see you in Germany again. Well, you will, Heike. You will indeed. Because I am going to be in Germany in February. I think it's in February. Yeah, I think Jane wants to go to Berlin, and I think Baz wants to go to Berlin. So I don't really want to do that. No, bro, 2 Rodneys again. Yeah, 2 Rodneys again. Wouldn't that be great? There needs to be an evil Rodney. This is the chance to have, the master to the Doctor Who of Dr. Rodney McKay. And what would he have to be called? He would be called like Rodan or something like that. Like Rodan, maybe something like, he's going to have some pretentious name. He'll have a goatee, and he'll be like, the bad version of McKay. Very smart and very evil. Legal evil. No, not even legal evil, just evil. I never got to play an evil McKay. I always wanted to do that. You wrote an article on AI the other day. I'm interested to see that. Okay, Mark O'Donnell, I'll have to have a look at that. Thank you. Techbandits.org. Thank you, Ken Porter, for putting that in. One good, one bad one. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to just have an evil McKay, but I mean, does that mean I get paid twice? Good. Oh my God, it's you. Loved it. It is. It's true. Fearful Squid. Oh my God, it's you. Loved SG1. Where we go? Loved SG1, SGA, SGU, totally subbing mate, crazy. Is there any new SG on the horizon? If you could tell us that, is blink once for yes. Yeah, it's been announced. Come on, get with the program, Fearful Squid. Come on. Yeah, they've Prime has just announced they're doing a new Stargate, and it's Martin Garrow is going to be running it, which is fantastic because he's one of the funniest, smartest people that could be doing that. Amazing guy. And Brad's involved, and Joe's involved, and Amazon's involved. So it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be great. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I would like to be in it, but I'm old and sweaty now. This is are they going to be able to drag me away from my exercise videos? I mean, come on, like this is like I'm a busy man now. Please. I'm not stopping the videos though. I'm not stopping the freaking exercise thing because I got to stay fit. I got to stay fit. I got to be not stay fit or even get fit. I just need to stay alive long enough to enjoy, my retirement years. That's it. The name Master Rodney sounds very questionable. Master Rodney. Help me get a spot as a background character if they call, please. I grew up with the show, and to hear it's getting an extension. Ray the Nomad. That's an interesting question. Doing background performance. I mean, as soon as we find out where it's shooting, then your best bet would be to look up background casting, because that would absolutely be worthwhile. I got to say, background performance stuff is not. It's not always as exciting as it might look, because you spend a lot of time just sitting around waiting, talking to people, complaining about having to sit around and wait. I did it once when I was a kid, and I just, oh my God, I thought if this is acting, I'm out. Turns out there is a lot of waiting around. I mean, I'm doing this new boys show now, this Bot Rising, which is so cool. It's so cool. It's so different than anything I've ever done, and certainly a million miles away from Stargate and that character. But oh my God, it's so much fun, and I can't talk about it because I would go to, I'd go to like Hollywood jail if I said more than that. But yeah, doing that now. I'm filming on Tuesday. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of fun. I think we're actually on location. I think we're like downtown or something next week. So I'm not sure I'm supposed to say that, but I didn't say where, so don't get me in trouble. I hope Jason Momoa hasn't gone to Hollywood to make an appearance. Oh, that'd be kind of fun to have him back, wouldn't it? To make an appearance in the new Stargate series. If there's any way to finish Atlantis the right way, Atlantis doesn't return to Pegasus. The Wraith by now would be eating like it's a buffet with no resistance. Well, maybe they've done some kind of a clone thing and they've got an evil Wraith McKay, although they don't have to wear makeup. I don't mind some, if as long as it's cool makeup. All right, now I'm interested. It's a tasty. The main show is amazing anyway. I just haven't got into the boys yet. I mean, it's just purples. It's funny. Baz said to me that it is. He said it's too grown up for me. That it's there's too much sort of sex and violence and a combination of the two that I'm too prudish. It's too rude for this prude is basically what Baz said. We watched the first season. I really enjoyed it. It did get a bit much for me. I did get a bit like it just, uncomfortable, shall we say. Maybe I could watch it now that I don't have the, I'm not sitting there watching it with a kid. Baz was watching it way too freaking young, way too young. And I met the guy who did the comic book, the original comic book too. He's a wild little guy. He's just, we're in like Prague, and he was just amazing. Like just this, he was like electrical. He was just like so much going on. David, you check out the info about 5 episode Doctor Who spin-off, The War Between the Land and the Sea, about the Sea Devils. Wow, the Sea Devils. God, they terrified me. Remember that one with John Pertwee, and they were melting the door to come in? Oh God, that terrified me. It is very adult. Yeah, I think I may be too much of a kid for it. Is there anything you know that you can't tell us yet? No, there isn't. In fact, I've said this before. I don't, like, as soon as I know something, I will tell you that I'm not allowed to tell you if I'm not allowed to tell you. But I've been given no more information than anyone else has. In fact, I learned stuff listening to the Gateworld interview. If you want to do that, go check that out, because they're amazing guys. And that site is extraordinary, and was instrumental in me coming into that show. I mean, I got to look up stuff. I had a source, long before ChatGPT. I had Gateworld, and that was where I would, look up things if I didn't know, get the scoop on Naquita generators and Zat guns and all that kind of stuff. So Todd's very much his home as long as he's in Atlantis, his second home. There you go. Todd's got himself an apartment there. Sea Devils also had the Master in the story, did they? I don't remember. Oh my God, I have to watch that one again. I love that. I've watched the boys spin-off Gen V. Well then, Bill the Scotsman, prepare yourself for Bot Rising. It's going to be pretty wild. The Sea Devils will be called Homo Aqua in the new miniseries. I guess. The Sea Devils is a lot scarier sounding, but anyways, Ken Peters still putting out the techbandits.org. Thank you very much. Is there any other learning stuff I did today that I wanted to talk about? Just talking about the Electronic Freedom Foundation, who I give money to. Not regularly, but I've definitely jumped in on a couple of things because I just think what they're doing is amazing, and I highly advise you to do the same thing. And what else? There's a couple things that came up in this chat. There's a wonderful interview that I listened to with a guy who created Stable Diffusion, I think was the one that he created. And it was just his perspective on the way things are progressing and where he sees things going. And he had some really interesting insights. Like, I don't know that I agree with them all, but he definitely had some interesting perspectives on it. Like the idea that, where everyone is trying to make this general intelligence that can do everything. The most valuable stuff to us will be smaller models that do specific things. Like you have a medical model, you have a legal model, you have a, I don't know, maybe you have an acting model. I don't know. But and he's convinced that in the next year we're all good. That's when we're going to start seeing all the job loss. Maybe. I mean, it's funny. I was talking to a smart kid who knows this stuff, who's working in the in fluid dynamics, and he was saying, yeah, they've been saying that for years. They've basically been saying it's good. The robots and AI are going to take over, any year now. And maybe that is the case. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not trying to move all my money to gold or whatever it is, all my stocks to gold, because I think we're about to all be unemployed. But it is interesting. I mean, he's saying that certainly next year we're going to have Hollywood quality video prompts, which basically wipes out all the low budget, or a lot of the low budget sci-fi stuff that I used to do. My bread and butter was the low budget sci-fi, low budget horror. If you can just make that with a couple of prompts, then there's just no point in spending the money on it. I mean, will I miss that? Of course. And will there still be ones that are done with humans? Of course there will. I think there's always going to be a demand for real human stuff. But the idea that you could potentially be making these things cheaper, faster, then there's more stuff and more things for people to explore. But at the same time, you got to keep in mind that, like some of the big money, not big money, but certainly the money that you would make at the end of the year looking to get your pension, what are they called? Pension contributions or healthcare, your health insurance. You need to have a certain amount of money coming in every year from acting work. And at the end of the year, if people didn't hit that, they would often end up with me in Bulgaria making these wonderful sort of silly, fun creature feature things, which are always, some of them stand out as better than others. Some of them are worse than others. I've made some of the ones that are worse than others, to be fair. I really hope we're going to see Amanda as General Carter. Oh yeah, General Carter, that's perfect. Rodney again too. I'm not sure he's going to be a general. He could be the science guy while Carter is running Stargate Command. Yeah, well, I kind of been there, Sally. Already done that, and it worked out well. Oh my God, backer acting would be interesting resume fodder. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is that you could actually make pretty good money doing background stuff if you're in a city where there's a lot going on and they need lots of crowd stuff. You can bounce from show to show to show and probably be making some fairly good money. But I'm not sure, it's not reliable, right? Because if things slow down, then you don't have that. I'd happily be an extra as long as I can bring books for my something. Bring books for my what? For my tablet that has books on it that I don't mind waiting around because I have books. Yeah, I mean, that's it. That the Star Pilot 6, that's what I do as well. Basically, I have books usually on my phone. It's just easier. It's what's really funny on the boys set is they're all playing backgammon. I'm like real backgammon with like an actual board and stuff. I was quite impressed, to be honest. I thought, because I'm a nerd. I love, if you separate me from the internet for too long, I wither and die, so. Techbandits.org, thank you very much. Isn't The Boys the main show? Do you mean Gen V? Sorry, The Boys is the main show. Gen V is the second show. There is a new one called Vought Rising coming out. I don't know when, but and that's what I'm involved in. It's kind of a fun. I don't know what they've mentioned about it, so I should probably read that before I start giving stuff away. But yeah, so there's a whole new show coming out, which is pretty wild, I got to say. Now the Amazon's reviving Stargate. I'd like to see Universal revive Eureka. Oh my God, Eureka was wonderful. That guy's fantastic. Just a lovely, lovely guy. You check out the info about the 5-episode Doctor Who spinoff. Yes, everyone seems to be excited about that. Yeah, I'm curious to see how they do that. Cube the movie. God, that's coming back away. There should be a 4K version of that coming out soon, by the way, which is just glorious. I've got to say, it holds up. So, God, Vincenzo and Andre and they just nailed that film. It's just amazing how it stands up. Coffee. Anyone watch Mistletoe Murders? Anyone been watching that at all? I feel so bad because these wonderful couple that makes the show, Ken and Michelle. Ken used to write for Stargate, by the way, so that's how I know him. And it's just this really cute little sort of Angela Lansbury style Murder, She Wrote type of show on Hallmark. It's just something I never would have thought that I would appeal to me, but man, it's really cute. It's really funny. And they're so sweet. They've organized like every Friday night, they have like a watch party for it. And invariably every Friday night, something crops up for me and I'm not able to go. And I just really want to support them because I just love what they're doing. I love the way they do it. I mean, talking about trickle down, the way they run this show is just, oh my God, it's just everyone is it's like freaking love fest. I love it. I love it. Yeah, and I just really enjoy playing Famous Ray. Famous Ray is just a really fun character, so I'm quite enjoying that as well. Oh my God, all this acting talk. What am I talking about? We're talking about science. Okay, very much home as long as he's in Atlantis' second home, exactly. All right. It usually takes too much time. It's got to be all day, and there have been multiple days, and it's very inconsistent in my job. I could just never. Yeah, it is very inconsistent. If you want yourself, if you need like proper scheduling, and you need to know where you're going to be when, background performance. The film industry in general is a nightmare for that. You just, basically. Famous Ray mentioned. Thank you. Tell him Famous Ray sent you. David, have you ever had an actual MRE? Apparently, they are McKay's favorite food. I have had MRE. I've had a bunch of different things. I think my favorite was actually an astronaut food, which was the astronaut ice cream, which I really liked. I got to say. Ivan's watching Mrs. Stone Murders too. Oh, good for you. Fantastic. Well, thank you. All right. You know what? I should go because I'm getting chilly, and the ladies want to watch a horror movie. So, well, horror movie or action, something that Jane would not want to watch. Jane, lovely Jane. I'm like the Lonely Giant. Is that called the Lonely Giant? The one. Remember that was that Oscar Wilde thing where the guy lived in a house and then it was all surrounded by winter and everything, and then the little kid comes in and the spring comes to that area. Jane is like that little kid. There's spring when she's around, and then she goes to England, and then we get a freaking snowstorm, and it's horrible and slushy and gray and miserable, and that's my life. So Jane's away. So it's just me and the dog, and my nieces. So yeah. So we're gonna watch some horror movies, and I gotta dig up some good ones. Have a great day, David, and everyone else. Indeed, Christian. Thank you very much. The Selfish Giant. That's what it was. The Selfish Giant. It was a selfish giant that used to make my sisters cry. There was also the Happy Prince. Remember the Happy Prince? Oh my God, that used to make that. My sisters would dissolve into tears even when I just mentioned the Happy Prince, or I mentioned, the little sparrow. Oh God, it was just terrible. All right, I'm gonna go enjoy some Sunday fun day. It won't be fun at all because it's gonna be miserable because it's gonna be horror movies. Yeah, last night at like 3:00 in the morning, there was like this weird like banging sound, and so of course I'm wide awake because I've just been watching horror movies all night, and so I'm roaming the house looking to see what it is, and nothing, not a thing. Although I will say this: rat, like a rat, like this big, waddling around in the backyard. Yeah, can I let the dog get that? Probably not. Probably a bad idea if the dog were to eat the rat or try to eat the rat, wouldn't it? But maybe. Two birds, one stone. No, there's she's Za is like built to kill. Basically, she's like Princess, the Mud Princess, who likes to sit on, but she's here right now. Oh my God, sorry, I'm talking about you. I know. Do you know? I'm talking to you. Sure. So she's the princess. She lies around, and give me treats, kind of thing. And then if she sees anything she can kill, she's just like a bullet. It just takes your arm with you. Just it's extraordinary. I need a cat. She is a cat. She's basically a cat. Yes, I miss being my Jane. It's true. It's very true. Last night, apparently around my parents' house, someone was pounding on a neighbor's door, screaming to be let in. Maybe we live in the same neighborhood, Cody. Check out Good Boy. I know. I really want to see that, but Jane won't let me because she says she wants to see that. Jane. Maybe she should have thought about that before she went away. That's all I'm saying. There's a wonderful SNL skit that you should see, which is the interviews with husbands who've lost their wives, except they haven't lost their wives. They just weren't listening. So their wives have gone away for a couple of days, or even in some cases to the bathroom, and they just wander around the house like there's been a disappearance. And I've been joking with Jane about, hey Jane, where are you? So that's basically that's gonna be my shtick the entire time she's away. All right, I've got coffee to drink, I've got showers to have, I've got horror movies to watch, and I really appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. It's been fun, a lot of fun. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the questions. Thank you for being here. I still can't believe people actually like to do this, but I like it. I'm good. I'm glad you like it too. It's a win-win. If you don't mind, go check out techbandits.org. That is my little website, and it's got an email of awesomeness, which if you want, that's the direct connection to the sad little Hewlett brain, and all the fun little science and tech stuff that I sort of have stumbled upon that I find interesting. It's free, obviously, and also it's fun. It's a fun way to let you know about any of the I'm with Stargate Genius stuff I'm doing. I got a new one of those this week. Actually, this Thursday, we got a really good one. Oh, we got a good one. I've got to put it together, a little poster and get it out there. But yeah, Thursday's going to be really fun. This guy is wonderful. And I think you'll really enjoy it. So, all right. It's filming Bot Rising right now, the Boys spinoff. Yeah, look at me. I'm like Prime. I'm primed for Prime. Like basically, maybe they should just shoot Stargate beside the Boys, and I'll just do my Boys days, and then wander over to Stargate, and maybe like have a sandwich or two, or then end up in an episode or two by accident. Thank you all. And it's funny. Garrow and Joe and Paul and Brad were saying, I don't know if Paul's involved in this one. We're just saying that it's just amazing that 20 years later, people are still keeping this thing alive, and I think that's probably a big part of how this happens. So so give yourself a pat on the back. You may have just it only took 20 years, but I think you may have just made another Stargate happen. Well done. All right, yeah. So techbandits.org. Check it out. There's the email of awesomeness. There's Patreon and all that kind of stuff if you want to help out with my pancakes or whatever. And there's also some merch, because I couldn't find any good McKay merch, so I wanted to make my own, and I did. And now I'm selling it. All right, I'm out of here. Until we geek again, which will be it might actually be maybe tomorrow, because I don't think I can do Tuesday for Abe, so maybe I'll try to do Monday instead. Damn Dirty Abe's with the wonderful Lance Carr. I might try to see if I can make it happen on Monday instead. If not, maybe Wednesday. But until we geek again, I will say, be brave, be kind, be brilliant, cheerio, and huzzah. You don't look very happy, dog. You look like a rug is what you look like. All right, I'm out of here. Bye. Oh yeah, like, subscribe, and hit the buttons and make the podcast